Hey, everyone, the date is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. It is 9 o'clock and this is a meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. We are continue to deal with the pandemic and the COVID-19. So the board continues to use WebEx platform as well as teleconferencing format. So whether you joined us on the web or by telephone, we thank you for logging in and being a part of today's meeting. Those of you that are interested in making comment under unscheduled appearances, please use the raise your hand feature on the web and wait to be recognized or be acknowledged before you make your 2-minute public comment. Members in the audience who have filled out speaker cards will be taken in the order they were received by the clerk. And we thank you again for participating in today's meeting. Each vote today will be verbal or voice vote so that members of the public can hear how each board member has voted. And so after the motion and the second, we'll pull the board. So with that, in order to get started, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Joe Nevs.
Here.
Richard Valley is absent. Doug Verboon.
Here.
Craig Peterson.
Here.
Richard Fagundes.
Here. Let the record show we have 4 members present. Thank you very much. We have established quorum. We will be able to conduct business today. We're now invite everyone to please rise as we invite Pastor Andrew Cromwell from Koinonia Church to deliver the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Let's pray. God, we thank you for a new day. Your word says that your mercies are new every morning. And so we just right now we're asking for your mercy, your grace, your strength and your power to face all of the things that are on the agenda today and all of the things that we're facing in our life today. Lord, for everybody here in the room, for the board, for their staff, for all that they represent, all the people that they represent working for the county and their families. Lord, we're praying for new mercies today for every situation they face at work and at home, in relationships and finances and life. God, we're a people that are in need of your goodness. And so, Lord, we're just asking for your blessing and for your grace. We thank you for an opportunity to serve this community. We thank you that the things that are on the agenda today, they're not just any kind of business, they're business that have to do with this geography. And so, Lord, we're asking for your wisdom and for your grace. We're asking for your strength. And Lord, we ask for your blessing for all of these items, for this county, for all the things that we're facing today. We need a God who is more than able to accomplish everything. And so we're asking that you would bring your power into our lives. We pray this in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Cromwell. And now join me as we honor America by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you very much, everyone. The next item on the agenda is unscheduled appearances. Any person may directly address the board at this time on any item on the agenda or any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of this board. Speakers will be limited to 2 minutes. And does the clerk have any record of any?
I do not have any written testimony, and I do have department heads who would like to speak this morning. I see
Okay.
that we do have someone from the public filling out a speaker card.
All right.
So if Ed Hill, if you'd like to go ahead.
Mr. Hill, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Ed Hill, County Administrative Officer. I'd like to take this opportunity to reintroduce Ms. Sarah Poots, who has joined us in administration once again as the new risk manager. Her first day was yesterday. We're happy to have her back. Unfortunately, it does come to a cost to HR. I'm sorry, HR, but we did steal her back. But I just want to let your board know that she has returned to admin and you will be seeing her on that side of the building again.
Good, welcome.
Did you bring donuts today?
He did not bring donuts today.
How about milkshakes in the afternoon? Ice cream. June Dairy Month is ice cream, so yeah, maybe we should start talking
Hold
about.
off till June?
Yeah, hold off till June. Well, see if she passes probation.
Well, she's gonna come back up the first week.
Oh, yeah, okay. Welcome back, Sarah. Thank you.
Next department head is Christy Lee.
Good morning, Ms. Lee.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, Christy Lee, Assessor, Clerk Recorder. I'm here today to bring to your attention an issue that's affecting the nation, but it is also affecting us here at Kings County. We're realizing a significant impact on workflows and production due to the lack of staffing. It normally takes approximately 3 months to get a new employee on board through the hiring process. In the meantime, we're losing employees sometimes merely due to the high cost of fuel and inflation these days. I'm here today to encourage you to put in some sort of hybrid work from home program that could be utilized in order to maintain operations of departments within Kings County. You've probably heard in the news about what they're calling the Great Resignation. This is affecting my office directly. We currently have trained employees from Fresno, Tulare, Three Rivers, Bakersfield, and Ventura. I know for sure the one in Fresno is looking for a position close to home. We've recently lost employees that have gone to Merced and Tulare counties because those are closer to their homes. And if possibly we had some kind of hybrid work from home program, we may not have lost those employees. One had 17 years of experience here in Kings County. We're also having problems with applicants. We used to get about 120 to 150 applicants for some of our positions. Now we're looking at we're lucky if we actually get 12. I believe it would be beneficial to Kings County to implement some sort of work from home program. We really can't afford to wait for an extended period of time because these issues are affecting our office currently. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
The
You have
next,
another?
I do have Rebecca Bell.
Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us today.
I have an issue now. I don't know in regards to SEIU 2015. I don't know if it's something that you guys decide or if they get union members back together or what. I know you can't, be able to respond, but maybe when you have your presentation at the end of the meeting, maybe you'll be able to have a comment on that one. But it's just in regards to it, just checking up with it and see how far SEIU 2015 is, if they've gotten it already, if it's going to be a public announcement, or if they're going to be coming in here again and having to, because it is 3 months maybe, so quite a bit. And also in regards to allocating of funds, we're just more, it's the pet population. It's not going anywhere. So I'm just asking you guys to kind of maybe implement to the owners of the pets, to kind of, help control the pet population. And maybe if anything if they were to be fined, at least have that money go towards the shelters to help them at least, because I know that we have a budget coming up. So they're wanting to have at least in 6 figures to get a building to help TNR and to help vets be able to also TNR additional pets. Because, I mean, you take care of one, then you take care of maybe hundreds of cats if they're going to have, and, so many generations. So, they just have a pile of cats. It doesn't even matter. As soon as dusk comes around, they start roaming. So it's under control for that. But also in regards to to F that's coming up, forgot the one for the fire department. Now, would there be a debate about that? So, I mean, I know you can't comment, but maybe at the end of the presentation, you can comment to see if there will be a debate about it. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so at least kind of clarify it. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Wendy, raise your hand and talk to Wendy back there. She can let you know a little bit about the in-home supportive services. Yep. All right, Madam Clerk, anyone else?
I do not have any more speaker cards, and it does not appear that anyone online has their hand raised.
No one else. Last call. Anyone in chambers? See no one come forward. We will close out the unscheduled appearances portion of the agenda and move on to the reporting out of closed session. And Diane, would you like to take on that responsibility this morning?
Yes, thank you. I'm here to report that in closed session on May 10th, 2022, the board approved the settlement of a claim for damages filed by Richard Valley in an amount of $11,500.
Thank you, Diane. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 10th meeting. Have board members had an opportunity?
I'll move as presented.
Moved by Verboen,
Second.
seconded by Peterson. Additional discussion? Hearing or seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Let the record show the minutes stand approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. The next item is the consent calendar, and all items under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and would be acted by one motion. The request of any board member, any item may be removed and made part of the regular agenda. Board members had an opportunity to review the consent calendar. Vote for approval.
Second, Verboen.
By Fagundes, seconded by Verboen. Additional questions or comments? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Let the record show the consent calendar stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. The next item, moving to regular agenda items. First item comes from Community Development, and that's consider accepting the monthly report on the Planning Commission. Mr. Kinney, good morning, sir. Thank you for
Morning,
being
Mr.
here.
Chairman, members of the board. Chuck Kinney with Community Development Agency. Come before you this morning to report out the actions from the May 2nd Planning Commission meeting. At the meeting, there were 2 items considered. The first item was a proposal to expand an existing poultry farm from 249,300 chickens to approximately 1.7 million chickens. The project includes the construction of 43 new poultry barns and 3 additional single-family residences for caretaker purposes. The project site is located at 16445 Laurel Avenue, Stratford. And this project was approved, 3 in favor and 2 absent. The second item that they considered was a proposal to establish a Mexican restaurant that will serve alcohol pending the acquisition of an ABC license within an existing commercial building in Armona. The project site is located at 13992 Ada Street, Suite 202 in Armona, and that project was approved, 3 in favor and 2 absent. That concludes the report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kinney. Questions, comments, concerns about Planning Commission activities?
None for adoption.
Moved by Peterson,
Second.
seconded by Verboen. Additional questions or comments? Hearing or seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. The next item comes from Human Resources with a couple of items. First item is to approve an agreement or discuss an agreement with Koff and Associates. Carolyn, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Carolyn Lease, Principal Personnel Analyst with Human Resources. I'm here today to recommend the board approve an agreement with Koff and Associates, a division of Gallagher Benefit Services Incorporated, for professional services to perform a classification and total compensation study beginning June 1st, 2022, and to adopt the budget change. The last compensation study the county did was in 2016, and since then the state has approved multiple minimum wage increases, which has had a significant compaction issue across the many classifications of the county. In December, the county submitted a request for proposal for a classification and compensation study. The county awarded Koff and Associates the bid after a thorough review of their credentials, references, and experience. They have been providing human resource services to public agencies for 38 years. The total cost for the classification and total compensation study is $608,260 and will be funded through the American Rescue Plan Act with no impact to the general fund. The agreement is for 12 months. However, the county can extend up to an additional 6 months with no additional cost to the county. Among many of the goals identified in the scope of work, the goal of the classification and study include establishing a framework for the county to ensure a competitive, fair, and equitable compensation study or system, and to maintain a standardized and equitable classification structure now and into the future. The project is scheduled to take place in 2 phases. The first phase will be the classification study, and the second phase will be the total compensation study. And if you have any questions or concerns regarding the project, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Carolyn. Questions, comments, concerns about the study? A lot of dollars.
Yep. Seems to be going through our hands pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Moved by Verboen,
Second.
seconded by Peterson. Additional discussion? There, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would you like to, or who's going to take on the job classification between clinical program manager and behavioral health? Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Melissa Avalos, Personnel Analyst with Human Resources. I'm here today regarding the job classification and allocation request for the clinical program manager position in the Behavioral Health Department. Brief background. Pursuant to SB 823, the Department of Juvenile Justice closed its doors to all new intakes effective July 1st, 2021, with the final closure scheduled for summer of 2023. As such, the Kings County Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council Subcommittee developed a local plan for Kings County to run its own secure youth treatment facility. One of the foundational elements of this plan is the hiring of a clinical program manager. The allocation for the clinical program manager position would be added to the behavioral health department due to the requirement of oversight by someone with clinical credentialing. However, the incumbent will be assigned to the probation department to comply with current legislative requirements. The incumbent would oversee all behavioral health programming at the juvenile facility where the realigned youth will be housed, as well as work with youth families to facilitate the reentry into the community. This position will be able to provide clinical supervision, oversight, and collaborate with all behavioral health professionals that may work with the probation system in Kings County. The subsequent request to flexibly allocate the behavioral health program manager positions to a clinical program manager would allow current and future program managers working on their credentials the ability to promote within the department to help with the retention of these highly skilled employees. The cost to flexibly allocate the program manager positions for the remainder of fiscal year 21-22 is $2,516 in budget 422100, $5,031 in 422200, and $5,031 in 422500 budget unit. The addition of the 1.0 FTE program manager / clinical program manager in 422200 for the remainder of fiscal year 21-22 will cost $25,611, bringing the total increase in budget 422200 for fiscal 21-22 to $30,642. Although the additional 1.0 FTE would be allocated to behavioral health, the funding for this position would be provided by the probation department via the Juvenile Justice Realignment Block Grant. Both departments have sufficient appropriations to absorb the recommended actions for the remainder of this fiscal year. The Behavioral Health Department fiscal year 22-23 requested budget includes sufficient appropriations to have all program managers flexibly allocated to a clinical program manager, and also includes the additional 1.0 FTE clinical program manager funded by the probation department. Therefore, HR recommends that you approve the revised job specification for the clinical program manager. Approve all program manager positions in behavioral health to flexibly allocate to a clinical program manager and allocate a 1.0 full-time equivalency in budget unit 422200. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Good job, Melissa. I think you had a full house of twos during that whole.
I did. There was a lot, in there.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Dr. Lewis is also here to answer any questions. Should you have any questions about the position? Discussion.
I'll make the motion to approve as presented.
Moved by Verboen. Seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor with 1 absent. Thank you very much. Moving on to Public Works, resolution certifying the maintained mileage. Mitchell, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of your board. Mitchell Cabrera with Public Works Department. Before your board this morning to request adoption and certifying a resolution that would certify and adopt the maintained mileage roads maintained that are improved by the county to the state controller for the 2021 calendar year. This amount is 926.5 miles. Every year, the Department of Public Works is required to certify to the state controller this number of improved roads maintained by the county. And by certifying this amount, the county is able to receive the annual allocation of the Highway User Tax Account Funds, or the HUDA funds. The annual allocation is approximately $4 million, which is used to fund the roads division, the staff, equipment, and materials used for maintenance, as well as supporting the engineering division of Public Works for the engineering and management of improvement projects, as well as using these funds to fund improvement projects, roadway projects that are then reimbursed by Caltrans through the various programs put in place by the state. So we are before your board this morning requesting adopting this resolution for the 2021 calendar year of 926.5 maintained miles.
Very good. Thank you, Mitch. Questions or comments?
One quick one. Not so much to do with the maintained miles, but just, the 4 million allocation. The overlay process has got to be getting much more expensive. I'm just curious how that's impacting our projects for the year.
So this 4 million is mainly used by the roads division for their maintenance. So the roads division mainly stick with chip seals and other maintenance measures. The overlays we've been handling through the SB1. But yeah, this last SB1 project that we're wrapping up, I think final numbers is like 3.3 million, and that covered 15 miles and some slurry seals and home garden. So if all that money was used for strictly overlays, we'd only be working on around 15 miles. But that 4 million is used for the staff, equipment, and the roads division materials for maintenance. So chip seals, any slurry seals they do, potholing, crack filling.
Like everything else, challenging, anything to do with oil.
Yep. Additional questions or comments?
No, as long as I get the holes filled in front of my house, I'm good.
Well, if you quit burning out in front.
It's not me.
Oh, so those black marks came from somebody else?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Moved by Verboen. Seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much. Additional questions or comments? Any more burnouts?
No.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboen.
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. The next item from the Sheriff's Department has been pulled, and the second reading of the ordinance will come back at a later date. So apologize for posting that, but that item will come back at a later date. The next item is the Kings County Peace Officers Memorial Day, which is coming up this week. And good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Dave Putnam, Assistant Sheriff, on behalf of Sheriff Robinson and also on behalf of the Lemoore Police Department. We're in front of your board today to request the adoption of a resolution designating May 18th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week of May 15th, 2021 through May 15th through the 21st of 2022 as Police Week in Kings County. As you probably know, we switch off from year to year between all the agencies in Kings County. And this year it's Lemoore Police Department's turn to host the event, which will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. in our lovely courtyard here. I just want to read the background on the Peace Officer Memorial Day. Just take a quick second so everybody knows what it's all about. Peace Officers Memorial Day and Police Week is an observance in the United States paying tribute to local, state, and federal peace officers who've died in the line of duty. Since 1962, the first year of the memorial, every sitting president of the United States has proclaimed May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the week of May 15th as Police Week. In recognition of this observance, a memorial ceremony is being held at the Kings County Government Center courtyard on May 18th, 2022 at 10 a.m. And everybody's invited to join us then for a very nice service every year. And like I said, we rotate between the law enforcement agencies in Kings County. This year, it's Lemoore Police Department's turn. So we're asking your board to adopt a resolution designating May 18th, 2022 as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the week of May 15th through 22 as Police Week in Kings County, with a memorial ceremony to be held tomorrow, May 18th at 10 a.m.
Thank you,
Happy to
Dave.
answer.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Questions, comments, or concerns?
There are no questions or comments. I'm for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved by Fagundes, seconded by Verboen. Additional questions or comments, clarifications? Will there be cookies, Dave?
I think there will be.
I think, in the past.
Typically is.
Yeah, but I don't know, COVID is a little bit different,
Yes,
so, yeah,
The cookies will be on the right side of the courtyard as you're walking in.
that's usually where I stand. So it'll work out good.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. See you
I
tomorrow.
must get there late because I don't never see any cookies up the joke. All
They're tucked in the hallway.
right.
Just looking out for your well-being.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Let the record show that item stands approved. 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. The next item comes from administration regarding an appointment to the Behavioral Health Board. And Mr. Hill, would you like to introduce the applicant?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Currently, the Kings County Behavioral Health Advisory Board has 4 vacant seats on that board, and that board has received and approved 1 application from Wendy Asakafo, who will be replacing Sonia Bugay as the county agency rep from the Human Services Agencies. As established by board policy, the administrative office makes no recommendations on advisory board appointments. Therefore, today's action is for your board to consider the appointment of Wendy Asakafo to the Kings County Behavioral Health Advisory Board. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions or punt the ones that I can.
Good, and thank you, Mr. Hill. And Wendy is in the audience today to answer any questions, so.
Do you have a campaign speech?
Not allowed.
All the time, huh?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Moved by Verboen, seconded by Fagundes. Thank you very much.
Probably analyzing this right now.
I know, she has set in a few times for Sonia in the past, so she is very much aware of the operations of the board and the operations of the Behavioral Health Administration. So it's just kind of ratifying what she has been doing throughout her career at Kings County as a alternate. So with that, are there any other questions or comments?
You have an acceptance speech.
Well, we have to go through the vote first, and then, yeah. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Let the record show that appointment stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Okay, Wendy, 5 minutes acceptance speech? Thank you. And you know what the long version of that is? Thank you very much. Good luck, and I know you'll be certainly a great person to have on that advisory board, so thank you. The next item is a public hearing coming from Public Works regarding a zone of benefit. And Mitchell, you're back up.
Yes.
Actually, Joe, we cannot take the public hearing until 10 a.m. It was published.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I stand corrected. It is posted for 10. So can you take a 30-minute break? Okay. There are some donuts in the back.
Close.
Well, there was some donuts in the back. With that, thank you, Madam Clerk. We will move to board member announcements or reports. On their own initiative, board members can make reports on their own activities. Supervisor Peters. Good. You good? Supervisor Verboen
That's it.
said he was good. That was enough. How was the car show?
We'll get to that.
Oh,
Okay, so on Wednesday, I was invited by Congressman Valadeo to speak on behalf of our drought issues here at Kings County, the drought forum at the National Resource Committee. I had 3 minutes to explain our problems here and how we're dealing with it and what the effects are. I think we did pretty good. Meeting was cut short after about an hour. They had to go vote, but they're going to call back and ask for questions. Then also on Wednesday evening, they had the San Joaquin Valley Policy Conference in Clovis. I was not able to make the first two events, but I made it at the lunch event.
It's amazing how that worked out. Yeah, you got there right before lunch did.
But I spent all day there, so
Yeah.
it was good. Mainly the transportation issues and planning stuff for cities, and it was pretty interesting. Then also I attended, did a lot of work for the King's Guild, which was on Saturday night. I think we had 555 attendees on that event. All the money goes to Valley Children's Hospital. It's a good event, been going on since the 70s. And my daughter was president this year, so she had to do all the vice president, so she was in charge of the event. So it was very well attended and nice event. A lot of work goes into that. Attended the antique motorcycle show on Saturday morning. I was out of place there for some reason. And then I attended the Corcoran Car Show, which I was out of place there as well. So that's all I'll say.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a busy week.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Supervisor Facundas.
Mine wasn't so busy. I had KCEO special meeting this week, and then also yesterday, Supervisor Peterson and myself at KG AAA. And that went quick and solved a few problems, found out a few problems.
There's always problems.
There's always problems.
Yeah,
We didn't have to go to the meeting if there wasn't a problem.
exactly. Everything can take care of itself.
For that, thank you.
Thanks. For me, the senior game on the softball field honoring the class of 2022. I did attend the San Joaquin Valley Policy Conference. Nice Wednesday evening event, and then the tour of Clovis. And they have a tiny homes, 400 to 600 square feet homes on bigger lots, mostly in the alleys. We weren't able to tour inside, but we were able to see the outside, and they look very, very efficient space-wise.
Yeah, they utilize the lot more efficiently and they clean up the alley by having access to front and back of the property. So, right.
Yeah. So it seemed to work out very well. When they started it in about 2014, they run about $60,000. Now they're almost double that. But they do have a set of plans. So when you go in, you just apply for the application. It's a pretty simple process, and everything's pretty much done. They already have most of the lots that have an adequate amount of square footage identified. So I think he said, was it 115 or 150 that they thought that they could build out?
I think 150, yeah.
Yeah, so they already have them kind of pre-designed. He was one of the planners, and he talked about all of the process Clovis went through with their business plan, business development, and how they worked with the community. And it was a very nice tour, working with the Fresno Irrigation District on a couple of park projects. And so it was a very interesting tour.
Took the canals that go through the city and made them into walking paths.
Yeah. And then Thursday morning, as Ms. Lee pointed out, one of the early discussions was the post-pandemic job placement of millennials. They had the term hard pants, which I didn't understand, but apparently for the last couple of years, people have been wearing sweatpants and stretch pants and everything else to work, and all of a sudden they have to put on hard pants to go to work now. And so they've come up with the term hard pants, a hard pant. And I know there are several that if they had to go back to work, they just retired. And that great retirement that Ms. Lee was talking about. And so it's a discussion across the board, private and public, and a discussion that will probably continue as many of today's workers, if they have to go back into that environment, they just don't want to do it anymore. And so it's going to be a discussion that's going to last a long time. Also at the event, City Councilman from Corcoran, Ray Lerma, who passed away, was also acknowledged as one of those elected officials lost this past year. American Legion breakfast took place on Friday. Very nice event. South Fork Kings, we got together for a policy committee, and we continue to work out some of the issues dealing with the groundwater management, South Fork Kings Groundwater Management Agency, as far as policies. And as you can imagine, most of the discussion was on the well ordinances and some of the reporting. Yesterday at the Kings County Homeless Committee meeting, Jeff Gardner was elected chair along with Miguel Perez as vice chair. He's part of the Kings Tulare Homeless Alliance. And the homelessness plan will be presented to this board on June 7th. And the public comment period opened up yesterday because that application is due June 30th. And so we'll hear more items about that in the future. With that, Mr. Hill, you want to talk about upcoming events and information on future agenda items?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. For board correspondence, your board received a letter from the California Department of Water Resources regarding the 2022 petition for temporary change to modify the State Water Project and Central Valley Project authorized places of use. For upcoming events, the Hanford Thursday Night Marketplace in downtown Hanford Civic Park is back every Thursday night. It starts at 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. It'll take place May 12th through October 6th. Kings County Peace Officer Memorial will take place on Wednesday, May 18th at 10 a.m. in the Kings County Government Center courtyard. This will be a celebration and memorial service hosted by Lemoore Police Department. The Hanford Chamber of Commerce is hosting the Ambassador Leadership Luncheon, which will take place on Wednesday, May 18th from noon to 1 p.m. Tard Barlow, Superintendent of Schools for Kings County, will be presenting the role of County Office of Education, legislative advocacy, trends in education, and what it means to be a successful leader. The cost is $10 for non-members. There will be a pet vaccination clinic on May 18th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Rice Park and Avenal. Vaccinations and licenses will be provided at affordable prices. Vaccines provided will be dogs rabies vaccines for $15, DHP-P vaccine for $20, feline vaccines for FVRCP and FELV for $20 each, and licenses for $15 for non-spayed and animals, and $7.50 for spayed and neutered animals. There will be a paint and pour at the Children's Storybook Museum in Hanford for a night of painting on Friday, May 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $25 for members and $30 for non-members. There will be a ladybug picnic at the Children's Storybook Garden Museum in Hanford on May 21st at 11 a.m. The event is free with admission. Bring your own picnic lunch or snack, and a table will be set up for lunch and crafts. The Professional Latin American Association will be having its 7th annual Taco Truck Throwdown Scholarship Fundraiser on May 21st from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on 7th Street in downtown Hanford. Music will be provided by Mezcal. The Central California Blood Bank will be holding the Kings County Employee Blood Drive May 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. located at the Old Drury parking lot here at 1400 Lacey Boulevard. The Kings County Library will be hosting a free introduction to acting class taught by Lauren Roche on Saturday, May 28th at 1 p.m. at the library located at 401 North Dowdy Street in Hanford. For upcoming meeting agenda items, administration has 6 items. 5 are claims for damages that were filed, and the 6th item is for consideration to adopt a resolution declaring the local emergency due to drought conditions in Kings County. Behavioral Health has 2 items. Approve the estoppel certificate on the lease with Angel Ting 2LP for 450 Kings County Drive, Suite 104, and consideration for approval of the memorandum of understanding between the California Department of State Hospitals and the California Mental Health Services Authority for the purchase of state hospital beds. Health has 3 items: consideration for advanced step hire, consideration for health educator positions, and the consideration to approve the purchase of outdoor structures for exercises and events. Public Works has 1 item for consideration to approve the grant purchase of new alternative fuel vehicles, and Sheriff has 1 item for consideration to approve the grant purchase of service handguns. That includes correspondence, upcoming events, and meeting agenda items.
Good, thank you, Mr. Hill. Also, Burris Park is on the 18th, and I forgot what they're calling that, but it's 5 to 7 at Burris Park, and I forget the name of it. Yeah, if you want more information on that, has that flyer. Supervisor Peterson?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one thing that I forgot to mention. AB 2550, it was sponsored by Assembly Member Rambula out of Fresno. would basically rewrite how air districts in California operate. It would remove the local control that air districts have currently. It would hand it all to CARB. He did this in a vacuum, didn't consult CARB, didn't consult air districts, just kind of went off on whatever. But it started with all air districts. There was no support for that. Then it went to serious non-attainment districts. There wasn't support for that. And then it came down to just the Central Valley Air District. And clearly, I believe the bill is in suspense right now, but it's unfounded. The eight counties that make up the air district are currently forming an opposition letter. And I think that will come to the county for our signature. And I don't know how we how we should, move forward with authorization to sign that, but
If it's going to be authorized by the board as a body, and if it's a discretionary action, then it'll need to come before the board as an agenda item before signature.
and I don't think it's prepared yet, but I think it's coming.
Is there time sensitive? Because we will be dark on the Memorial Day. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure where the letter's at. I was just called and
Okay.
let know that that was occurring. So
all right.
when
Yeah.
it's going to get here.
Just bear in mind, the May 31st meeting will be dark. So if we can get that on the agenda for the May 24th or not, it'll have to wait till June 7th. Any other second calls? Because if not, we're going to have to take a break.
Yeah, there was a meeting, 4:30, emergency meeting by the governor, all on the drought and the budget. And I remember my numbers correctly. As far as the drought goes, we need about 1 million acre feet down here to help sustainable, just keep farming going. And he gave 3 million acre feet to the fish and nothing to the residents, nothing to ag. So he is against us still constantly, just like the Ramblers try to do right now too. So get out and vote.
Yep. All right, we still have about 17 minutes or so. So, but yeah, let's see, we do have 2 items under closed session. Do you think either one of them will be quick, 15 minutes or less?
The first 2 items will be quick,
Okay.
the 2 claims.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and the board will move into closed session to take up closed session items, those 2 items. And then we will return as close to 10 o'clock as we can to take up the remaining item of the public hearing, which was published for 10 o'clock that has to be held at 10 o'clock. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. And we will recess until 10 o'clock. Thank you very much. The date is still Tuesday, May 17th. The time is now 10:02. The board has come out of closed session to take up the remaining item on today's agenda, and that's the public hearing from Public Works regarding the creation of a zone of benefit. So Mitchell, would you like to begin the discussion?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of your board. Before your board, for this item, requesting the public hearing regarding creating the zone of benefit for 6 and 7 within the Armona Tract 756, also known as the Armona North Development subdivision in the unincorporated community of Armona. The purpose for creating the zone of benefit is to create a parcel tax for the residential lots, and that tax will be used to fund roadway maintenance. After the public hearing, if your board so chooses, we're also requesting adopting the resolution, which would codify this change. Traditionally, a homeowners association would be created, but due to previous difficulties inherent with that model for the homeowners association, county has moved with the zone of benefit method for the previous phases in this development, and we're requesting the same for this phase 6 and 7. Tax will be collected by the assessor, and Public Works will hire a contractor to perform the maintenance every 7 years. So at year 7, 14, and 21, road work would be planned using this tax. If your board agrees, I would request commencing the public hearing.
Thank you, Mitchell. Questions or comments from Mitchell before we open the public hearing?
A guy was here, wasn't he, the Armona guy?
The Armona guy was.
I'd just say that, you know, this was an issue before, that there's no funds available, and some complaints with respect to developments like this. And I just worked with our Public Works Department to make sure that this wasn't an issue again. And I think this is a way to make sure it's not an issue.
With that, if there are no questions or comments, we'll open the public hearing for the purpose of receiving testimony regarding the zone of benefit formation and a parcel tax for road improvement and maintenance. Madam Clerk, have we received any written testimony?
I have not received any written testimony, and I do not believe anyone is online or in the audience to speak on this item.
Very good. Last call. Anyone like to give testimony this morning on the zone of benefit? Seeing no one come forward, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back for direction of the board. And Mitchell, would you like to close?
Yes, so after having had the opportunity for the public to comment, our department recommendation would be to waive the second reading of the ordinance 701, which would amend chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances, and adopt that ordinance amending chapter 2 and imposing this parcel tax on the lots. If you guys have any additional questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Good. Thank you, Mitchell. Questions or comments? Concerns?
No, if there's no questions or comments, would move for adoption and waive the reading.
Moved by Peterson, seconded by Verboen. Additional questions or comments on the motion? Here, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson,
Aye.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. Good job.
I have a question, though, nothing in
Yes.
regard to this. So in the years past, we've done curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. And my biggest complaint in those communities are, no one takes care of them when they're done. Is this something we can do for those communities as well to keep them maintained?
Mitchell or Chuck, either one of you want to take that up?
I mean, can I ask that question, Diane?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so when the developer sets up the original plans, they submit to Public Works after having gone through planning, the improvement plans. There's an agreement in place that once they start the work, they'll set up the curb, gutter, sidewalk, the new roads. Part of that agreement has a 1-year warranty period for them to maintain. After that, we would have to go through and see what the maintenance agreement, or what the agreement language mentions as to who would be responsible for
It's
that.
easier to do on a new home construction than an older home construction. Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Anything else go to the order? That stands completed then. We have completed today's work. We will return to closed session to take up one remaining item. And with that, our next regular scheduled meeting will be May 24th. And then the May 31st meeting is canceled due to Memorial Day. So with that, thank you, everyone, for being here, and we will move back into closed session to complete those items and then adjourn out of closed session until May 24th. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a safe trip home, and we'll see you next time.